Welcome to the April edition of Automotive Weekly's News Recap. Without any further ado, let's just jump right in.
So, I think we're going to start off this episode with a PSA instead of just straight news. Subaru is having a recall on several of their vehicles. It's 1.3 million in the United States, where if you put certain scented car care products while you're cleaning your car that can get into the epoxy of some of the brake lights, it will actually cause those brake lights to fail with the modules inside of them. So that is something to keep an eye out. Now, granted, the brakes don't fail. It's just the brake lights that fail. Right. So if you have a Subaru and you're affected by that recall, get in contact with your dealership and get that fixed. Mm-hmm. So now that we got that done and out of the way, the next thing we want to talk about is Honda's new E prototype, which looks like this. And I am a huge fan of small Japanese hatchbacks. It's one of my favorite genres of cars, going back to like some of the Daihatsu Miras, the Subaru 360, which is a really old one. That was one of the first major Subarus that came out. Great little cars, but some fun specs about this that you guys might get a kick out of. 124 mile range, so it's definitely more of an in-city car. It's not supposed to be like super highway cruiser.
On the lower end.
Yeah, it has a total of 6 screens on the inside, and one of my favorite things about that is the screens, they go from the driver all the way to the passenger, right? It's like there's 4 of them, and then there's 2 for the side view mirrors. The passenger can type in a GPS, type in an address in the GPS, and then they can swipe it to the driver so that they have that in front of them.
That's pretty nice.
I mean, that's just awesome. I love that.
I like the way it looks too, a whole lot. It reminds me of a Volkswagen Golf, which is not a bad thing because I like the way the Golf looks.
It's kind of like retro and really modern at the same time.
Yeah, the round lights make it look a little retro, I think.
Definitely. It kind of has... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So you're saying these are cameras?
Yeah, those are cameras. And then here's the one thing I thought was kind of interesting too. They did the Tesla kind of style where those are actually in the door, and when you walk up to the car, they'll just go...
Yeah, that's legit. I thought when you pointed out the cameras, I thought those were the handles, and it was like suicide doors.
That would be really cool, honestly.
They missed opportunity there.
Definitely did. One other thing that I thought was kind of cool is it'll do an 80% charge in 30 minutes with superchargers, which is pretty reasonable.
Yeah, no, that's really quick actually.
But if you notice the way the grille here is, it's kind of got this weird curved bezel to it.
Yeah.
It actually curves in a little bit, and there's actually cameras hidden in there and that helps with like lane assist and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think autopilot is in the works, but I don't know confirmed on that. Yeah. So.
With all the pressure from Tesla, I'm sure all these companies have to go that route of autopilot.
It's true, but...
It's got probably around 150 horsepower, which that's a big difference in that and a lot of the newer electric cars that are out now. A lot of those have more power than big sports cars.
Yeah.
So it's going to be more of a practical car for sure.
Definitely more of a city driver. Kind of more... I don't want to say smart car, but kind of more smart car.
Okay, it's not a smart car.
It's not a smart car. It looks way better than that.
Way better.
Way better space, too. I am kind of curious to see what the weight is on that route, because I don't know what the official specs on the weight are.
That's a good point.
Because if it's 150 horsepower, then it weighs 2,900 pounds. It'll still be decently zippy, but if it weighs 3,400 pounds or closer to 4, then it won't weigh 4,000. But
I mean, batteries aren't
they're heavy,
light, but I mean, it's not an engine either.
No. I will say the one thing that's the most disappointing to me, if you notice the Honda badge, see how it's nice and glowing and stuff like that, it won't do that in the production car more than likely.
Then I'm not going to buy it.
That's the reason not to buy it right there. So Honda, you missed opportunity there again.
I'm out.
That's okay.
All right, next we're going to talk about the French company Peugeot. They were first in the States and left in 1996, but they recently announced that they're coming back and will be here by 2026. And I know a certain somebody over here is really excited about it.
That's me. I like small, crappy hatchbacks. They're like some of my favorite things, but that's okay. So back when I was growing up, I had Gran Turismo 3 on PlayStation 2, one of my favorite games of all time. It still is one of my favorite games. And I love the rally racing in the game. It was pretty amazing for the time, especially. And I always drove a Peugeot 206. I did switch between that and like a WRX, if I'm honest with you, which I've always kind of had that love for Subarus, as you guys definitely know. But one of the other cars I really liked driving was the 206. And it was, I've just loved those cars ever since then. I loved the way they looked. But unfortunately, recently Peugeot's had a lot of problems with their quality, and a lot of their cars are breaking. And the people that buy them are not the people that usually buy like sporty cars. So they haven't really come out with a whole lot of sport models, which is unfortunate because back, in the 70s, they were big. Like, they were up in there with, like, Lancia and Alfa Romeos and stuff when it came to, like, the rally racing and just the more racing series and stuff like that. But they kind of just died off. That's sad.
Yeah.
But regardless, though, I'm excited for that. I'm kind of curious to see what models they're going to bring over.
Yeah, that's true. He said something about like a 2000 something, 3008, different models like that.
The 3008 is a woeful car.
Yeah, so who knows what they're coming out with.
I wonder why, because here's one of the questions I had. Why are they coming back to the United States, the land of Hummers, which, I mean, granted, they're out of business now, but, big SUVs. And, I mean, Ford is a really good example of this because recently, they decided that they're going to stop making all their cars and it's just going to be SUVs and the Mustang.
Yeah. I mean, again, we're talking 6 years from now, 7 years from now. They could easily come out with some SUVs by then.
Who would buy them? That's the question we want to know.
Would it be a small SUV like a Kia Soul?
Comment below with your opinion. We'd like to hear it. So we can't really do a segment of Automotive Weekly's monthly news recap without talking about some more electric cars.
Man, and Tesla, Tesla is always in the news doing something. Elon Musk, that man is crazy.
Yes, he is.
From fire
the Boeing
guns,
the flamethrowers.
Flamethrowers, that's the name of it.
Actually, the same thing can be applied to SpaceX. They're really just big flamethrowers if you think about it.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Anyways.
You're not wrong. So yeah, Tesla made a big announcement this week. Elon came out and said that they are closing down not all of their retail stores, but the vast majority of their retail stores, and they're keeping a few open for like information. But for the most part, they're all going to be gone. So the only way to drive one is to buy it. Elon's like, yeah, you got to buy online, and then you have a 7-day test drive, and then you have 7 days to decide if you like this car, and then I guess you can return it for all your money. He's hoping that this saves them about 6% on cost of all their cars. So what that will do for their Model 3, they were really wanting to hit 35,000 on their Model 3, and they really haven't. It's been about 42.9, and so they're taking 6% off that. It should help them hit that 35,000.
And I mean, that's actually not a bad move because if you go and look at even like just restaurants, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some of their biggest costs is just the building overhead, the land that it's on, and everything like that. So that's actually not a terrible idea, especially if you have like these new companies like Carvana.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have heard about that. It's where you can actually buy your car online and they'll just deliver it to your house.
Yeah, and you test drive it right there at your house, and you have to put a down payment or something. But it's pretty. There's a couple companies like that now. Interestingly enough, Amazon announced they were adding more brick and mortar stores. At the same time, Tesla announced they were not. So.
Well, Jeff Bezos is the richest person in the world currently, I believe. So, I think he might know what he's doing, but we shall see.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor. Could be, though. Elon also said recently that he's planning on 2020 for all the Teslas to be able to be fully autonomous, not just hands-on anymore. He's actually wanting that to be fully autonomous, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, actually, I don't know why, but I get emails from Tesla. And one of the email I just got the other day
not sponsored.
said, not yet.
Not yet.
The email I got the other day, it said, it's talked about the price coming down, and so of course, like you do, you go in and build your Tesla, and so I built my Tesla, and one of the options said, well, on all of them, the option is autopilot. And then down below that, an extra cost below that is the ability for it to recognize red lights, stop signs, and stuff like that, like on regular streets. So like even the ones around Chattanooga right now, like a buddy of ours has one, and it'll go down the freeway and take the exit and do stuff like that. So that was an extra cost, and it said coming soon.
I was like, I got an interesting story about that. I read a article where in California, a guy fell asleep behind the wheel of his Tesla, and the cops had to find a way to pull him over because the car was just on autopilot.
So that's weird because actually, like the guy here, we know you have to touch it every
minute, I think.
It's less than that.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean we can look it up real quick, but I mean you have to touch the steering wheel, and if not, the car will stop itself.
I don't know how old this story was that I came across, but
well, he might even just had his hands on the
that's
steering
true.
wheel.
He could have. Yeah, that's true. And local news, Randy has an '04 Mitsubishi Eclipse GT. It is a white pearl. He bought it. His family bought it in '04.
Yep.
And I think think you should share.
Yes, we were the only family to own it. The actually only owners of this car, my mom and me. And there she is. She's real pretty, as you can see. It's got that fresh rain glisten on it. And on Friday, this other car, this big bully SUV, decided it was going to come say hello. And it did it a little too aggressively. And it got me right in the side. It T-boned me. You can see the big bully SUV in the back there, and my window compartment hanging out of the door. It is a total loss. I watched it drive away on a tow truck, and I'll never get to drive it again.
That's like one of the saddest moments is seeing your baby on the back of a flatbed, because that's happened to me a lot in my lifetime, honestly. But first of all, though, I'm super glad you're okay.
Yes,
I know all of us.
Yeah, first and foremost.
Other driver was fine too. There's no injuries involved. She had insurance, so we're all fine there. It's just the car's gone, which is sad, especially after somebody made a nice little graphic that said a 04 Eclipse to go underneath my name.
And a couple of people very lovingly pointed out it needs to go now. So that's okay though. So here's where we kind of want to get you guys involved a little bit as well. I think we wouldn't mind hearing your suggestions for what Randy should get next.
Yeah, I've got my eye on a couple of cars already. I'm going to keep those to myself for now, but I want to know what you think I should drive. So comment down below, let us know, and maybe I'll take your suggestion.
So one thing that we're really excited to kind of get out into the world is that we're going to be doing this new segment called Build Overviews. And this is where we want your involvement. So in the description down below, you'll find a link to a Google Doc. And if you think that your car is unique, cool, or just different and fun, go ahead and fill it out, send us your information, and you can also attach a couple pictures in the process. And if we like it, you might very well end up on the show. So that's something we're pretty excited about, and we definitely want to get you guys involved in, because as much as we like talking to cameras, we want to make sure we got talking to you guys as well. And if it's in person, that's even better. Otherwise, also in the description down below, we have our Facebook and Instagram. You should check those out. We'll be posting behind the scenes pictures and future updates on projects and some more fun stuff like that, which we're pretty excited about. So otherwise, that does it for this episode, and we'll see you guys next week. See you then.